Oh, you are there. I didn't see you. I was just drinking a cup of tea in the new Datastar mug available on the website of Datastar. Perfect for a hot drink while you are watching a Louis Sunshine video. I hope everybody is alright. I wanted to share some news about the new thing I am working on, which I call Red Dwarf. So, Red Dwarf is a web server. This is a very simple demo. It works with Datastar, obviously. You have here the indication type to see your Grug name, and if I type, for example, Louis Sunshine, you can see your name is Grug Louis Sunshine, and this is happening in the backend because it is happening, let me show you the code, in just one Python file, which looks like not this Python file, this Python file, right? Perfect. So you see that we have an input here. You have here an input with a data on input, so you recognize the Datastar syntax, post to club, and here we have app.postClub, async dev match club name request.name, and we return a HTML fragment that is morphed by Datastar. Why club? What is this app? What are you doing? I will go into the technicalities, alright, and explain everything, but first, why am I doing this now? And I have so much other stuff to do. I will tell you the how and the why at the end of the video. If you've seen the scene in the matrix between Neo and the architect, it's kinda like that. I will tell you this is the why, but this is not the why. So we already have very great servers in Python. Alright, Quart, very great async server, Flask is good. I don't like Django, as you know, but I like Sonic very much. And of course, I love Stereo. Stereo was developed by a member of the Datastar Discord, Adam Bobowski, and he put a ton of work into it. Right, you even get the 3.0 release just like a few weeks ago, and you got so much free stuff. Everything is open source. You got so much free stuff with Stereo. This is what Stereo can do. It's a server. You can have telemetry, meaning you have a really nice display of the request that goes inside. What happens, the bug, you have trace of stuff, you have built-in HTML generator with Datastar built inside it, generation, right? You have a built-in relay system for pub-sub messaging, right? You have caching of static assets. You have a full or half a test suite, right? You have a whole toolbox with default pages. You have options to route and mount, routers, subrouters, subpaths, subdomains. You can do dependency injection to infer the type of subparameters. You have compression built in, ZSTD broadly, and stuff like that. It's all typed, it's all safe, and blah blah blah. So it's a ton of work, and I would recommend everyone go to the Stereo page, right, and start learning about it. But what I want to do is just the server. I was trying to read the Stereo docs, and as it got more and more complicated, I was like, I have to get maybe into it to see how the sauce is made, right? So this is a project called Red Dwarf, because it's the smallest star that you can find. And I draw him myself. It's a red dwarf riding the Datastar rocket, the 64 by 64 pixel art with 4 colors. So hope you like him. It doesn't have a name yet, so in the comments you can propose, a name for Red Dwarf. And so the goal was to have a server. What's in a server? Let's zoom a bit. What should a server do? Listen on some port, for incoming requests, HTTP requests, handle these requests and all the information with it, and respond to the request. In a nutshell, this is what a server should do, and it is very simple. Listen is not very complicated. You have a port, Unix port, you have a port or a Unix socket where you are going to be listening. And if you are, debugging or stuff, you might want to have an auto-reload feature. If you change something, the server restarts, if possible, gracefully, right? The request is a bit more complicated because I suspect this is the only thing that has to be stateful. You have to pass the eventual carry parameters, and you have to handle the cookies inside the request, and you have to handle the Datastar signals. Everything that is, I've done the cookies, I've done the signal, and I've not done the carry params, which is why it's a bit like this. And for the response, this is Datastar. Everything that we need is either empty HTML or even string. But I didn't implement, SSE, and it is still working because Datastar can do it. I suspect for long-running connections, the example that you saw here was fire a simple request response model, right? And in the defaults in Datastar now, you get this. I have the feeling, are you still listening to me? Because the last video, didn't make a lot of views, and I don't want people to sleep when I talk, so you have a little sunshine here, who is going to bounce around the screen if you are starting to lose, attention. Every 10 minutes, a new one will pop, so if you're born after, after 2000, you can follow the sun. Alright, follow the sun and go to the grass, because with Datastar, you can develop websites very easily, and as you will see in a second, you can develop even very minimal web servers. We were saying we just want to send empty response and HTML, and if possible, we are going to take a concept I like a lot from Stereo, which is the alive thing. It's basically a with handler that lets you not mess with the complexity of disconnecting connections, because in most cases you know what to do with Datastar when this happens. So let's go into the code, right? Let's see some code. And this code, I have to warn you first, I am working with AI. This is my workflow for the moment. I ask AI, so I ask Claude, I ask ChatGPT, and that's mostly it. Sometimes Grok. And I push back because it's a bunch of crap. So I ask AI again, and I push back, and I ask AI again, and I push back, and I ask. When I mean push back, I say, no, I don't want that, this is still too complicated. You didn't, you wrote too much. What is the core feature? Can you make it simpler? I even have, for the pushback, a grok.md file that I can share, which tells the the AI to act like a caveman. I write the documentation when I have like a hunch that something is clicked in my brain. Okay, the AI got it wrong 1,000 times because in fact what I wanted was and blah blah blah. I put it in the documentation. It's clearer that way. And then I write the code myself. Even if it's the AI code and it's so simple that I don't have to change line, I copy it character by character, so it's like I validate it again, and still I make mistakes. When I write the code, I move to another feature, ASGI pushback, ASGI pushback. The goal to develop Red Dwarf was to use the default library, so no imports if possible. Assume the best, and we will see that AI loves to put 1,000 hundreds of test cases and asserts and try except blocks, and if none, continue and stuff like that, instead of first assuming that everything works and let me deal with the edge cases instead of trying to do it, because your code is really subpar. I'm just asking you on technical stuff I don't know. For the actual code, I will handle the edge cases, right? So it's mostly for that, for testing IDs. I don't know how this HTTP library works, or if I should use Signal, I can test, is it going to work in a Windows and a Unix environment the same way, or do I have to change some stuff? And this you have to, I'm sure if you work with AI, you have to reset the conversation really often to not lose the context, and you have to reset your own brain because it can be exhausting. So I did one feature a day for a week, and there we have it. We have Red Dwarf. Alright, let's go into the code, shall we? So, what should we import? Asyncio not even asyncio. And we are going to do some cleanup in the meantime, because I tell the AI to comment a lot in a grug way, and I then remove the comments and add my own. The code is littered with notes to myself and notes the AI had made, and this is like having a dialogue with it's the pushback I was talking about. So what do? From grug, import app empty HTML, and in the first line, you see I am not satisfied. And I think I want to change how many of this stuff you have to import, because HTML is a bit hard to just import like that. So I want to namespace it, but still, as you will see, it's not a stateful function. There is no response objects. The only stateful thing is the request. So this is like how you will write. The app equals app is familiar also, but not needed, right? Why instantiate an app instead of just calling something like app.run at some point? There's no state, there doesn't have to be a state in this app, because what you're doing is listening at some point to a socket. So first 3 lines, and I'm glad I did this because I'm already thinking about maybe I'm putting too much state, and this is the kind of stuff that Datastar puts in your brain. Alright, I will let you read the index request. So I'm not using this. I'm not using the request function. I'm not sure. Maybe I can even remove it. Do I need it? I don't need it, but will the website crash? Yes. You see I have the auto reload, I reload. You have grug make accident, probably because the request object is missing, and so we have to fix that at some point. But it's back. So you see just some CSS, some Datastar, and it leaves you some time to read the index page. I'm just talking a lot, so I have to figure out Windows, I have so much to say about this server. I'm so happy. Are you still following the little son? I hope you are. I don't know if it's been 10 minutes, but his friend shouldn't be should arrive very soon. And this is the club pass, right? And as I said, we return HTML instead of event stream, but in a req-res it works. And you also see here that we don't have a await read signals method or SDK, because we are building it from the ground up. So if you're using FastAPI or something like this, you have a Datastar SDK, because you can't modify the stuff if you're using Stario or what's the other name? Star HTML, I think. Why do I don't put a function? I just put it in the. I just pass the request and it signals content, so I assume it's there. And I pass them as a dict, and so I don't have to wait for something. It's just data stored inside this stateful object that is request. I probably should use html.escape. So this is the comments I leave to myself. And if name equals main, is trying to explain. It's trying to explain me the if name equals main, app.run, and reload is a parameter. Reload equals true, and we'll serve the sock parameter. Are you still there? Go make yourself a nice cup of data tea, right? You have a new son, you can follow. We take our time in this channel, so always have a coffee. So ready to go into the big file. It's not that big, right? This whole server for the moment is like 300 lines, and most of it is half of it is comments and the other half is crap. But you have to write it. Maybe you want to take a look first at the readme file, which I'm using, as I said, as a doc to say what I want, and at some point I will make the website, and it will be hosted by Red Dwarf, and it will have the docs I want you to read the docs in one coffee, basically. Red Dwarf is a minimal and opinionated server. Only use the Python default library. Is fast. I have no idea. I hope so. As a sensible hyper function doesn't mean anything, but looks familiar would be better, right? Is decently secure? No idea about that, right? Bitput. And get you running in second. I do hope that's true. And the why is coming at the end of the video. So first, we highly recommend Datastar philosophy, blah blah. Why? The philosophy of Red Dwarf is that the backend is not equal to the server. And I don't want to have I want it to have a server that does less, right? Just handle the request and respond what it is told to respond. And you manage the rest however you want. Your backend can be cron jobs, Datastar, PHP scripts. You can do whatever you want in your backend. Python is just here to help you running in second. and it's not going to be very performant. But hey, that's what I know how to write. I want to... I will learn some stuff like UV add red dwarf would be cool. I don't know to publish a package, but here we go. When not to use red dwarf, you need multiple workers, and this is also a way to tell to myself what is off scope, right? You need middlewares. I'm probably not going to put that. You need telemetry, you need advanced server function, you're doing anything serious. So this is a way to put, red tape, fence on what I don't want to do. We instead recommend blah 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 blah. Quick start, hello world, so I'm both writing the doc with the hello world and trying to write the hello world that I just show you. You see? Take it until you dock it. What we did, blah blah blah. So yeah, I was writing this manual before the first line of code. So I figured that it would look. Then I write the code and I'm like, for example, this doesn't have to be an import or an object. I don't want to type that, so I don't type it and then I have to modify the doc. And so I update the philosophy of the doc and it gives me an idea for a new feature. And I punch back against AI and I go back to writing the feature and then I go to code it, but in coding it I realize you get the idea. We now have a proper HTML file. This is just docs, and it's important to have maybe the list of functions that I want to do. For example, input, there's no more input. You just have a cookie helper if you want to get the cookies of the request or the cookies inside your response. Output, I don't have output anymore. I wanted to do input output like Stario does context and writer, but it changed in 3.0. You now have responses. Additionally, question and yeah, can I respond with JSON? No, for example, you continue this imaginary thing in your head. Why is there no compression? We let the reverse proxy do it. It's more work on the reverse proxy, but I trust KDE and Chrome developers more. I just want to make a very opinionated stuff, and it's time to bite the bullet and show it. Import asyncio, import inspect, I don't even remember. Yes, inspect is because your roles can be synced or asynced, and if they are async, we have to await them. I'm not sure about this, right? For example, inspect can go. I don't really like having two ways to do stuff. For the moment, I am in the happy path. No edge cases. No, you can do it this way. JSON, alright, to parse the signals. Maybe someplace else. MIME types, yes. I'm not even sure if I'm still using MIME types. This is for the static file serving that we are going to see. Import OS, import signal. So OS is to serve the application and to search for folders, and signal is to handle termination of the server if it's run by something else. Sys, no idea what I'm using sys for, but I know I'm using it at some place. Threading is for the auto reload. Time, I'm not sure I'm using time, so let me put a note. Time. I enjoy playing Hades 2 at the moment. It's a really great game, and I hope to get the three statues. if you like this one, I really recommend this too. HTTP status, not really needed as an import, but passlib is always very useful. And we have parse query string and split URL, so URL is a default import in Python with this stuff. Some small response helpers, how to set cookies, and I had a discussion in the Discord about that. How to set cookies. I didn't like the way Sadiq was doing it. You don't know when they set the cookies, but because their response object is stateful. This cookie helper is just returning a string, right? Which corresponds to the HTML string that you would include in your headers when you do a response to tell the browser set this cookie and to this value and this cookie to this value, blah blah blah. With the defaults being a secure cookie, HTTP only cookie, and same seed lacks an infinite cookie. So maximum security, minimum questions. There's no default behavior on this, so I chose my own parameters, and I will try in the doc to go further path where I go into more details about this. Okay, so just joining some strings. Cookie was very easy. HTML is even easier. When I called HTML the other time, I was just passing in the response as a body and letting input status OK, and the headers is optional. We also have an empty method which will return a empty body and a 204 when we are going to put CQRS patterns into Red Dwarf. And now we get into request and we get into signals that are functions that shouldn't be called, right? So Python cannot namespace them. Hey, the third son just appeared, say hi. I will also stream a lot more, so for a week of streaming, don't forget to follow on Twitch to get some notification, but I will put them in the streaming section of the Discord. Alright, read signals is something that you only do on the Datastar request. Not sure about that, by the way, because the get request can also have signals, so are you sure about that? I'm not going to put sound effects in this video. I'm seeing videos on YouTube that are really great, and guys saying thank you everyone, this took me hundreds of hours of editing and I just don't have this sort of time. My work is killing me, but how about that at the end of the video? Yes, just accessing the params. It's in the Datastar JSON object. We access it and we load it into JSON. And we return it. And what happens is I make what I hope to be the only object, the request, to store the information about the request. And you see it's like it just have an init function where you store method, pass, body and stuff like that into the object. You call read signals because you have all the information you need at the moment of the request creation, so why not do it at this moment? You have the information you need. Yes, it's a bit more computation on every request, but if you're doing Datastar, you're going to want to access signals at some point, and this is a toy Python server. I hope you are not that interested about performance. So this is how we do auto-reloading for the server. It's very simple. We have a function that will tell which files to watch, every Python file and everything into static, so if I change the CSS or the JavaScript of something. And while true, I will every second iterate on every file, store the last modified times. On the first pass you do nothing, right? And if you have a modified time which is more recent, that is more recent than what you add, you just use threading to restart the... Now the threading is not at this time, this is just the auto reload, so if anything change, you just restart the process with the same arguments that it had. This is also something that I can change because I don't see CLI options being something. So can we remove? You see that every 20 lines I'm like, can we remove that? Can we make the default be not include that code? App, as I said, I don't really like it to be an object for the moment. Every request here, it's just a list of routes, right? What to do on what route, what function to call on what route, and for this we had the decorator pattern, which I really like, to link route string with a function. And this decorator, I wrote it by hand as well. First it was just get, but you add two routes, the method and pass. So get index to index, or here post and club to smash club to the function, and return this function and return the decorator. So when you call add delete pass method pass, and this will register this function and then go on. Then for running, we have either the localhost mod, the port, or a socket, and the reloading. If reloading, so this is when we start a new thread, target equals watch and restart, and daemon equals true. And so the only thing that we have to do is to call serve, which is a function that will, let me fold it, handle connections, I will fold that as well, but just call async with server, await server, save serve forever. And server is just asyncio, the asyncio basic function. I don't know how performant this is, but we will see, right? But I was very surprised, and I don't know, maybe you are surprised to know that asyncio has a start server function built in. So we are just going to build on this. So yeah, the handler I will do after. You pass the routes. If you have a socket that is specified, you mount it on the corresponding Unix socket and with the right permissions. I think you also has start Unix server. It's really surprising library, you know. This is to handle sig term instead of I don't know, it's sig kill. I can't even remember what is it? Sig term or put the answer in the comments if you're still there and you're not hypnotized by the bouncing sets. I hope you like that. So the handler, we have to do the handler. The handler does try to read the request, and if the request is nothing, we get the functions in the routes. And see here, I don't like handling incorrect behavior first, so I say no. First, do the correct thing. The correct thing is to just do results equals fn request. This part I don't like. I should make everything either sync or async. One last technical point is that, for example, when I read a request and I pass the query string, I will call the URL lib parse QS query string. And we could have something like parse query string but keep the blank values because there's information in it, and then something where the query strings are just returned as list, and most of the time you want the first element of this list, so you can use a list comprehension, but actually I don't like it. You know, I stick to the defaults, so if an information is not, what I want is that if an information is not in the Red Dwarf docs, you can go look at the code and then go look at the standard library and assume that it will function the same way, right? We handle the request and response and, you know, convenience handlers. We write them around Datastar. What belongs to Python stays in Python. That's one way to do it. So this is less convenient, but this is the way parse query string works in URL lib, and so I want to stick to that. So that's the philosophy at the moment. Maybe it's stupid. We pass the headers, blah blah, how to send some stuff. This is boring technical stuff. So yes, go check Stereo. Obviously, I've been reading a lot for example, the docs of Sanic as well, which are not that easy to navigate, but it's good work and it's a solid framework, right? It does what it does. Join the Datastar Discord. Sorry for the flashbang if it's late. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And yeah, a few words before I go. Why am I doing this? First, it's fun to be opinionated, just as Delaney. Then I think it's a great learning material because you only need like 5 functions in your server, right? 1 object and 5 functions, and you can make hundreds of different websites. Just to show the power of Datastar. And well, then, as I said, a bit like the Unix philosophy of just doing one thing, and your backend should be a lot of different. In my mind, could be different people, different workers doing their own stuff. Not a super Django, for example, monolith handling everything. Just people communicating over channels like NATs or Redis or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will do a lot of streaming. I hope you enjoyed the little sons. Put some comments, put some views. The last videos didn't make a lot of views, and I have so much work, real work, paid work at the moment, that I need some encouragement. And the Datastar team needs some encouragement as well. Go buy this mug. It's great. It's the best mug. I've a lot of mugs. This is the best one. This is the best one, best mug. Another one, $20. You ship from around your country, everywhere, no tariffs. It's the best mug ever. See you.